Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN Television News. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
I'm reaching my dreams with GUT. They're the ones for me. I'm reaching my dreams with GUT. They're the ones for me. Since 1983, they've been serving the country, and we like all their financing, giving the people what they want, what they need, what they love. Come and join the family that's here for you all the way. From birth to graduation, your first job to your home, and your car through your golden years.
The GT Credit Union has been actively supporting nation building through its many sponsorships and the programs including Financial Literacy Quiz, Pass the Torch Calypso Program, Junior Cooperatives in Secondary Schools, CPEA, and the TAMCC Grants. The Credit Union has helped many people make their dreams come true. Let them help you with yours. You don't have to be a teacher to be a member. So what are you waiting for?
GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
This is the GBN Television News for Tuesday, June 16th, 2020. In the headlines, two charged with 2012 murder of Emilio Nelson appear in court today. Met services to use new easy color codes in dissemination of information on weather systems. New York City public advocate speaks to GBN on why Black Lives Matter. COVID-19 emergency regulations extended for another week. In the sports news, West Indies assistant coach says team members are showing signs they are developing a pace attack. And in Around the Globe, Dominican Prime Minister wants universal access to COVID-19 vaccine. Good evening from the Grenada Broadcasting Network. I'm Kenroy Baptiste. Details after this.
Hi, I'm Francis Urias Peters. I'm a good listener, and K105 has always been a great source of education and entertainment. Now, while the station name may have changed over the years, it has always provided valuable information which enabled me as a playwright to document and to celebrate our history, our behavior, and our achievements. K105 is my choice. It's the national station.
We begin with news that 34-year-old Jamel Young of Non-Parallel St. Mark and 36-year-old Ronald Fletcher of Munich St. Andrew jointly charged with the 2012 death of Emilio Nelson appeared at the Gove Magistrates Court this morning. Fletcher also faces additional charges of arson, burglary and robbery with violence. Christina John was in court this morning and has the report.
I've prayed for 8 years, asking God, when would there be justice? My nephew was like the godfather in that village. They loan his money, he has 7 acres of land, they eat. When I say you're letting them, he said they need it. They come and borrow from him. He give them food. He just leave it to them. And he died a gruesome death.
78-year-old Emilio Nelson of Non-Parallel St. Mark was found murdered on November 30th, 2012. His aunt, who did not wish to show her face on camera, painfully recalls the day her nephew's body was discovered. She says Emilio was kind to the villagers where he lived. Looking at the two young men, she says she feels broken. She sounded a warning to parents, especially mothers.
To thank God for answered prayers. I remember on that day when I went to his house and I saw my nephew being tied to the back of his van. How hurt I was. And I want to speak to mothers who encourage their children to do wrong. And they know it's wrong and do nothing about it. The nation, the mothers have something to face with in this nation. It is like another virus. When they call us to come and identify the body, my sister identified the body by his fingers. He was martyred everywhere. And this does not reside well with God.
Another aunt of the deceased spoke out as the two accused made their first court appearance at the Gov Magistrates Court on Tuesday.
For 8 years, justice has begun, and I must compliment the police force in Grenada for having worked on it so it can come to today. And we just hope that we will continue to see justice. And from this, young people will learn the best thing to do in life, because someday, it will catch up with you.
This advice she sends to young people in Grenada.
To all young people of Grenada, I'm talking to them on the behalf of my nephew. Always do the right thing. You will receive the reward. And if you do the wrong things, the day will come, like today. I pray for all of them, and I pray for the parents of these children. And I pray for them too, that they may find a brighter side in life and not what has happened to them today.
Representing one of the accused, Jamal Young, was attorney Ali Gill, while Ronald Fletcher retained the service of attorney at law Derek Sylvester, who was not present at today's hearing. The two were remanded to Her Majesty's prison. Fletcher will make his next court appearance on June 23rd at the Grenville Magistrates Court to answer to a charge of illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. Chrislina John, GBN News.
Jamal Young and Ronald Fletcher will both return to court on June 30th on non-capital charges. As the hurricane season is underway, the Met Office at the Maurice Bishop International Airport has taken on a new way of disseminating information. Relaying weather information to the public has been a challenge for the entity, especially during the hurricane season. Christina John has another report.
Grenada is following in the steps of other islands that have already adopted different ways of reaching the public with information regarding weather conditions. Colorimetrics will be the new formula used by the Met Office when disseminating information. Hubert White, manager of meteorology, explains that this year they are looking at impact forecast, which means not what the weather would be, but rather what the weather would do. The aim is to reach the public in a timely manner with a message that must be clearly understood. This, he says, is mandated by the World Meteorological Organization.
In other words, we are not just going to tell you that it's going to rain. What we should be able to tell you is rain to an extent that River Road will flood, maybe Tanton will flood, Mont Rouge will flood. So this calls for a lot of information gathering. We have been mapping historical events and linking them to a number of rainfall. And so
White explains what people should look for if they have not quite understood the weather forecast.
So what we are using this year, most islands already roll off that, but we're trying to roll it off this year, is a color matrix. So for example, if we tell you that there will be flood and it's minor, then that will be a green alert. A green alert, you don't really take any action, but listen for further information. Then if it's heightened a bit, you go to the yellow alert. And then you still continue to listen. But when it starts reaching orange, you have to start taking action. If you are in a flood-prone area, you should be observing your surroundings carefully and taking the necessary action to seek higher ground. And the highest of the matrix is red. So when Met Office issue a red alert, that means that's the highest and you have to take all necessary action and precaution. So then even though somebody doesn't understand the forecast, but these colors alone will help you.
Meanwhile, Public Relations Officer at the National Disaster Management Agency, Oslin Cosby, is pleased to report that inspection of hurricane shelters have been completed, and the agency is now at the stage of compiling reports to be submitted to Cabinet for approval. The new list of shelters will be released in short order, which would take into consideration COVID-19 protocols. Presently, they are working with the 2019 list of 117 approved shelters. In the meantime, a high concentration of Sahara dust is in the atmosphere, and people with respiratory issues are being warned to take precaution.
The Saharan dust, we know that it threatens lives, and it is important that as individuals, we always remind you that you take responsibility for your safety. You know, we have the young ones at home now, and you may just need to stock up on their pumps or the nebulizers. Maybe you need a new one. There's so much that can happen. And of course, we also need to be cognizant of the time in which we live. This is not normal times.
Cosby says this occurrence is not unusual. Christina John, GBN News.
Well, on Monday evening, GBN zeroed in on the Black Lives Matter movement. A panel of 8 discussed in depth one of the most pressing issues in the United States on the Beyond the Headlines program.
Over 3 weeks of protest and unrest followed the murder of unarmed African-American George Floyd by a police officer in the United States. Floyd's death incited peaceful Black Lives Matter protests as well as riots across multiple states within the U.S. and abroad. Among the 8 panelists discussing the social and political impact of the movement was Jumaane Williams. Williams is the deputy leader of the New York City Council and was representing the 45th Council District in Brooklyn. He says the open support showed for the movement was a huge contrast to support in the past.
Yes, George Floyd might have been the catalyst for this particular one, but anyone who focuses solely on policing and police violence might be missing the forest for the trees. And so it's first of all been amazing to see people all across the globe saying Black Lives Matter, when just a few years ago people were hesitant to even say that. And I always want to make sure we keep in mind that many of the people out in the streets have been in their houses for the past 2-3 months, dealing with a pandemic that disproportionately affected Black and brown communities because of systemic inequities. And then on top of that, they were dealing with Breonna Taylor, who was shot and killed in her house, Ahmaud Arbery, who was shot by some vigilantes, I guess, while he was jogging, and then George Floyd. Too much. And quite frankly, we in this country have been using policing to address so many issues that if we addressed, we actually wouldn't need police force. So we always say, what does public safety look like?
Williams, while explaining the real message behind the movement, says he believes it became necessary to say Black Lives Matter at a time where, based on statistics, it appeared like Black lives were unimportant.
It's interesting. Some people still want to respond to that with all lives matter, which makes no sense at all and is actually disrespectful. Everybody knows that all lives matter. We didn't say that all lives didn't matter. We were just saying right now we need to focus on Black lives. Someone had a great statement maybe a couple of years ago that if you went to a event or a function where they were talking about, say, breast cancer or protests or prostate cancer, you wouldn't respond and say all cancer matters. You would focus on what is actually going on. And right now, when you look at every statistic, Black people in the country are at the bottom of that strata. And I believe they are there because the systems are set up to have them there.
The aim of last night's program was to edify the audiences on what the movement means, its origin and evolution, how it affects Caribbean nationals living abroad. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
The COVID-19 regulations have been extended from 7 a.m. June 16th to 7 p.m. June 23rd. Government on Tuesday announced an update to the Emergency Powers Act, allowing the freedom of movement to remain in place between the hours of 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. daily. Beach hours remain 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Businesses that have already been authorized to operate may continue to do so until 7 p.m. daily. You're watching News at 7. More to come from us. Stay close.
Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited invites its shareholders to attend a live virtual session of the 3rd Annual Shareholders Outreach Forum on June 18th, 2020, starting at 4:30 p.m. We will use this opportunity to enlighten you about your duties as a valued shareholder. Interested shareholders can call 420-2132 to let us know that you will attend our live virtual Shareholders Outreach Forum on June 18th, 2020.
We're here for our youth. We're giving all students access to Flow Study. Here's how to register.
Dear customer, please help us limit the potential impact of COVID-19. If you have cold, flu, or COVID-19 symptoms, please postpone your visit to Grenlec and ask someone you trust to do your business for you. We recommend using online banking to make payments, available through Co-op Bank, Republic Bank, and FCIB. You can also use check drop boxes at each of our locations. For bill balances and other information, call 237. For additional support, email customersupport@grenlec.com. If you choose to visit, you may have to wait outside because of the social distancing requirements. Our service may be slow, so please be patient with us. Have your account number handy to expedite service. Wishing you, your family, and employees health and wellness at this time.
Celebrate this Father's Day at Pier 57's Sundays at the Pier Luncheon. Sunday, June 21st from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Enjoy the sounds of Jenny J and friends and musical selections by Selector Beast. Minimum 4 persons per group, $160 per person. Call or WhatsApp 407-5757 for reservations.
Our superheroes are all among us. They don't wear capes nor have superpowers. In fact, they appear to be quite ordinary. They are the ones who provide us with food. They are our farmers, our grocery store workers, our vendors. They are our fishermen. They are the ones who heal us, our doctors and medical practitioners. They are the ones who protect us, our police officers. They are all the other essential workers who make this period bearable. And how can we forget our teachers, dedicated to educating our children no matter the circumstance? To everyone who is doing their part to make sure the wheel keeps turning, Ariza says, thank you.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
It's new, innovative and classy, and it cut above the rest. Your one-stop shop for bathtubs, kitchenette, customized doors and windows, and even a new paint job. We also sell quartz and solid surface countertops. At M&N Hardware, we offer best prices, excellent service, efficiency, and reliability. Visit us at Dusty Highway, Grandin, St. George, or call telephone number 440-6757. M&N Hardware, from foundation to roof. Let's build together.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
We
Republic Bank remains committed to providing all its valued customers with high quality and personalized service in a safe and comfortable environment. In order to maintain COVID-19 protocols while serving you, it has become necessary to arrange an appointment with your relationship officer or the customer service representative at your branch for the following products and services: loans, overdrafts, credit cards, new accounts to include savings, checking, certificate of deposit and foreign currency, reactivation of dormant accounts, and private banking for existing customers only. You may also log on to our website, complete the application form for the service required, and submit via email to your specific branch. Requests for appointment can also be emailed to customerservice@republicgrenada.com or via private message on our Facebook page. For private banking service, kindly contact your specific branch via telephone. We look forward to welcoming you.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Hello again. The COVID-19 pandemic has compelled members of the business community to use more innovative ideas to stay afloat. Media houses were not immune to its effects, as they too had to adapt to the changes brought about by the virus.
Depending heavily on technology as a means of not only educating the masses on the global pandemic, but also a means of income, the Grenada Broadcasting Network was placed at an intersection where it was both at an advantage and disadvantage between balancing its duty to the country to keep it informed and its operations as a business. According to Janelle McDonald, supervisor at the Marketing and Sales Department, the pandemic created a bittersweet state of affairs for the company.
Interestingly, it has placed us in a unique position. We saw many businesses closing as they dealt with the impacts of COVID-19 in Grenada and across the region, across the world, essentially. But for the media, you have an important role to play. You're responsible for providing entertainment, information. And at the GBN, we are happy that we did that. We were able to carry all the press conferences, all the live updates. We were able to stay abreast of everything that was happening and keep all our audiences on radio, on TV, and on social media informed, despite the fact that we were facing our own challenges. Media houses, by and large, depend on advertising to survive. And with the impacts of COVID-19, businesses were closing and people were just canceling advertising. So you have a unique position in that you have a responsibility. And like I said, we're happy that we were able to meet that responsibility, providing timely information to all our audiences on the various platforms, while dealing with the impacts ourselves.
McDonald says, among other positive results, the pandemic created an easier avenue for islands to connect, share necessary information, and in turn, boost inter-island relationships.
The pandemic has provided many opportunities for synergies as well. So as you know, GBN is part of the One Caribbean Media Network, and we were able to utilize the strength of the network in our programming. You would see some cross-programming from Trinidad, from Barbados. We have content from St. Lucia. So, you know, our islands were very similar. We were separated by water, yes. But a lot of the challenges, a lot of the opportunities are almost the same. So we were hoping that Grenada can benefit from our neighbors. And at the GBN, we are happy we were able to provide that platform, which we utilize at a greater frequency due to COVID-19.
The GBN used its platform to remedy the displacement of students from schools during the quarantine period.
In March, GBN, in consultation with teachers, and so we saw the need to address or provide some support for the Ministry of Education. When schools were out and teachers were challenged in reaching some of their students, the GBN created the homeschool program.
Beverly Telesford reporting there. This one to report consultations are being held on the new draft industry health and safety standards for the tourism industry. The move is in preparation of the reopening of Grenada's borders. Rena Pear tells us more in this report.
The mandatory health and safety standards will guide the way forward in doing business during the COVID-19 pandemic. All operators in the tourism industry are required to adhere to the protocols which involve cleaning, sanitization, dining and requirements for staff and guests, including the wearing of face coverings and the practice of social distancing relating to COVID-19. The protocols were developed with critical guidance from the Ministry of Health and international agencies such as the World Bank Organization, as Grenada is looking at all of the options and best practices for the ease of doing business in tourism while protecting staff and visitors. The Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation, Health and the Grenada Tourism Authority GTA continue to host consultations with stakeholders to get their feedback on the new draft, which is expected to be finalized by the end of the week. Carl Hoshtialik, product manager at GTA, explains how these protocols will be enforced when finalized.
So when the actual inspectors go to, be it it's the tour operator or we actually go to the hotel, they're going to be going with a checklist, right? And that checklist will go through a number of things. If they look at your dining area where you do in-house dining, they're going to ensure that your arrangements are proper. You know, that you're also adhering to the social and physical distancing again, right? And these are the pieces that all come together to ensure that you are ready to reopen. And in the considering that it's health and safety that is of paramount importance right now.
Over 400 people have participated in the consultation so far, and the numbers are expected to grow by the end of the week. Training is also ongoing for water sports operators, including dive shops, tour operators, and other professions in the tourism industry on the new way of doing business. The training, which was done virtually, had over 80 participants and was facilitated by an environmental health officer.
So far, we have had a number of sessions with the accommodation sector. We've also had the health session and the protocols revision with the water sports sector. And we've also, yesterday, we would have reviewed the protocols and then sensitization with over 100 persons that are in the food and beverage sector. They have also received some training as well with the health officials, and we have a training coming up for food and beverage for those people that may have missed the session, because it's really important for you to get your certificate of participation. And that session is coming up on Wednesday at 2 p.m. So Ministry of Health will be facilitating that, and thereafter we will go through the protocols again as part of the whole sensitization. Even if your property is actually open right now, it is important that they receive the certification, because this is COVID-19, and I mean we're still in the period of COVID-19, and as a result, these new measures, these new guidelines, these new protocols must be a part of what you're doing. It now has to be part of the normal operation. So be that you are opened during the period, be that you're partially opened, or be that you're closed, it's important that everybody goes through this process.
Grenada is expected to open its borders by the end of the month to the regional and international communities. For GBN News, I am Rina Pear reporting.
Hearing-impaired people will celebrate Deaf Who Communicate with Deaf People.
Equal access to information, a right of the deaf community. The 2020 theme for Deaf Awareness Month celebrated this month. The theme focuses on hearing-impaired people's ability to obtain information on what is happening around them through sign language on all platforms, especially in the light of the coronavirus. Counselor and Guidance Officer Cathy Dubisset of the School for Special Education explains the importance of inclusion.
The society is made up of all of us, and we all have our part to play. The reason why we are here, each of us, is because there's some duty to fulfill, and the best way for us to all fulfill our duties as human beings being here is to integrate with each other, because there's much that we can learn from persons that are deaf and hard of hearing, and much that they can learn from us. And so including them, they bring a certain aspect to the whole of society that without them we do not have. And they can best do that if they are also well informed.
Food hampers will be distributed to deaf people who may have lost their jobs or who may be experiencing difficulties during this time. According to principal of the School of the Deaf, Michelle Braffeth, the month-long celebration started off with a virtual church service and will later follow with other activities in keeping with the relevant health and safety protocols.
Another activity that we will be having is virtually as well, discussion with our parents. How are they coping? How it has been for them during COVID-19. We also will be having a virtual discussion with the deaf community, the adult deaf community as well. And we would have a drive-by for our students. So we, the teachers, will be going out into the community. We know where our students are, all of our students. So we'll be driving by, dropping off some packages as well for them, and just giving them a little goodbye, a little wave, and just for them to see that we're there, we're concerned, we want to know what's happening with them as well.
Deaf Awareness Month 2020 is a collaborative effort between the School of the Deaf, the School for Special Education, the Ministry of Education and local NGOs. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
Still to come with the news, Ministry of Education rolls out new app to assist CSEC students. We'll talk about that.
Do you still have EC 1 and 2 cent coins? If you do, then you have until the end of this month, 30th June, to spend them, exchange, or deposit them at your commercial bank. After 30th June, you will not be able to use your 1 and 2 cents as they will no longer be legal tender. Find them, spend them, exchange, or deposit them at your commercial bank. Act now and receive value for your 1 and 2 cent coins by 30th June.
Moms are always special. We give them teddies, hugs, kisses, chocolates, perfumes, and jewelry. All the softer things in life. But for Father's Day, come in and choose your favorite machine and instantly get 15% off. Walk in style and walk out with a smile. This Father's Day. Sale starts June 15th and ends June 20th. Europa. We service what we sell.
How going on, boy? Hey, good old things. Hey, easy. Yeah. Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day. Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service. Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy. Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
The Grenada Distillers Limited joins the government and people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique in the fight against COVID-19. Only together we can beat this pandemic. As a corporate citizen, we have temporarily stopped the production of rum, and our focus has been on the production of a sanitizing solution to assist in the fight against this dreadful pandemic. We have commenced free distribution to the senior citizens' homes, children's homes, and other vital organizations around the country, and made this product available to you at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. We encourage you to please listen and obey the guidelines issued by our health authority and the Royal Grenada Police Force. Together, and only together, we can beat COVID-19.
Tropical shipping is fast and reliable. Always on time,
safe and affordable. Friendly staff there to connect you. Tropical worldwide, you must get you. Shop online and you get it on time. Hassle free to meet your deadline. Consolidate any size, any load with Tropical Shipping, so we ship everything. I can't wait to ship with Tropical. Can't wait. No package too big, too small. I cannot wait to ship with Tropical. No package too big, too small. Just ship with Tropical.
Local agents, George F. Huggins and Company, Grenada Limited. A telephone number 440-8787 or visit our website at www.tropical.com. Email us at grenadasales@tropical.com. Tropical Shipping, committed to island life.
The Grenada Distillers Limited joins the government and people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique in the fight against COVID-19. Only together we can beat this pandemic. As a corporate citizen, we have temporarily stopped the production of rum, and our focus has been on the production of a sanitizing solution to assist in the fight against this dreadful pandemic. We have commenced free distribution to the senior citizens' homes, children's homes, and other vital organizations around the country, and made this product available to you at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. We encourage you to please listen and obey the guidelines issued by our health authority and the Royal Grenada Police Force. Together, and only together, we can beat COVID-19.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Is faster and easier with Flow FastPay. Use your MasterCard or Visa and pay from anywhere. Log on to discoverflow.co/fastpay and press Consumer. Select your country and enter your account number. Enter the amount to be paid and an email address. Enter your credit card information. You'll receive a payment confirmation with the transaction details, along with a receipt to your email address. It's fast, safe, and easy. Flow, keeping you connected.
For CSEC exams, the launch was facilitated by a team from the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development, Religious Affairs and Information, led by Minister Emmeline Pear.
The app, specially designed to assist students preparing to sit CSEC exams, was designed by Fortuna Pix Inc., a leader in digital education with strong technology and global delivery capabilities. Fortuna Pix works with educators and institutions to provide an array of digital, technologically enhanced education solutions that replace traditional education systems with modern digital solutions. Education Minister Emmeline Pear, during the launch ceremony conducted via Zoom, thanked the creators of the app for their contribution, as it comes at a time when the students need it most.
I want to express this afternoon appreciation to Fortuna Pix. When they were approached and we were in discussion as to how can they provide additional support to our students who are indeed disadvantaged at this time, as they would have missed so much of contact time with their teachers. The company decided that they were going to make this app available to all of our students in Grenada without any charges until the end of July. And so we are indeed extremely happy and grateful, because we believe that this tool is going to go a long way in helping our students to prepare for the upcoming examinations. And I believe that our students would be far better off because of this opportunity.
Deshayant Argual, Chief Operations Officer of Fortuna Pix, gave a crash course of the app and explained its design during the launch.
I can see all my friends, everybody who's on the app and how they fare. I can also see subject-specific analysis. This analysis is cumulative.
Now, if you observe all the students these days, they get inspired by the coins, the leaderboards. So what we have built consciously into the app is a strong gaming behavior that inspires students to perform better and better so that they could improve their scores, they could improve their coins, and ultimately they could be on the top of leaderboard, not only in individual subjects, but also across all the subject areas. Another important thing about the app is typically when the students are trying to prepare for the exams, they get stuck at a question. And more often than not, they do not have assistance to understand how to answer that question. So by including a hint in every question of the practice, we ensure that we are not allowing the learning gap to remain open.
CSEC exams are scheduled to begin early next month. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Students in Grenada and other countries around the world are still trying to come to terms with what's considered the new normal. They have been thrust into the online environment as schools have been forced to close their doors because of the COVID-19 pandemic. For some students, it has been a challenge, while others have made the transition easily.
Preparation is the key to success, but what happens when you prepare adequately and then, out of nowhere, something like the coronavirus surfaces? Well, university students in various regions have been impacted by this very sudden occurrence. One student in particular noted that they did have a fairly good semester in spite of this upheaval coming out of nowhere.
Most of the things in SG was already online, so it wasn't much to adapt to. So it wasn't too bad. The semester was fairly good. Not at its best, but good enough.
Another student said it was bad that they were not prepared for it.
It was bad. Here in the UK, it was sudden and the cases spread rapidly. We were not prepared. It threw everything into chaos.
In spite of the several hiccups experienced by some students during the semester, many adjusted as they went along.
In terms of how manageable the adjustment was, it wasn't that bad because, as I said before, like most things from the university was already on an online platform, so it wasn't so much adjustment to be made. But well, like other than the lectures, like they had to be online now because the physical interaction has been removed. So basically, that's the only form of adjustment that had to be done.
And although the glass seemed or was half empty for various individuals, it was half full for several students as they adjusted, persevered, and finished the semester successfully.
Over time, the lecturers and the students managed to get an understanding of the classes. It was hectic, it was chaotic, but we managed to work our way around it. And even though my class is not graduating, and our graduation has been cancelled, it is relief to know that we are done and we don't have to go through that again.
Indeed, we must keep adapting to change. More on their perspectives in part 2 of this report. Odette Campbell, GBN News.
All right, time for this evening's GBN Eyesore. Compliments Clear Vision Eye Center.
A good eye captures all. GBN Eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. We're changing the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
Tonight's Eyesore reporter submitted a photograph of the continuation of the Tantine Wall mural by Nashon Jeremiah Arts as part of the Beautify Grenada project. You can send in your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 and our other social media platforms.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
All right, time for the weather for Grenada, Carriacou and PT Martinique, valid for tonight and the following 3 days. Weather tonight generally fair because 6 degrees Celsius. Wind east-northeasterly to easterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas moderate, waves up to 6 feet in open water. Tides low at 6 p.m., high at 1:15 a.m. Sunrise tomorrow morning, 5:44. The weather on Wednesday, the 17th day of June. Partly cloudy to overcast and hazy with few widely scattered to scattered showers possible. On Thursday, the 18th, partly cloudy and hazy with few brief showers, increasing in cloudiness during the afternoon with widely scattered showers and the possible isolated thunder shower. And on Friday, the 19th, partly cloudy to cloudy and hazy with few brief showers and the possible isolated thunder shower. That's the weather.
Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited invites its shareholders to attend a live virtual session of the 3rd Annual Shareholders Outreach Forum on June 18th, 2020, starting at 4:30 p.m. We will use this opportunity to enlighten you about your duties as a valued shareholder. Interested shareholders can call 420-2132 to let us know that you will attend our live virtual Shareholders Outreach Forum on June 18th, 2020.
Welcome home.
The Esplanade Mall, something for everyone. Go on a shopping spree today and experience some magic.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
At Communal, we are adapting to meet the changing needs of our shareholders and members. Times are changing, and with the changing times comes a whole new way to do business. Our parents may have done their banking a different way. Communal's state-of-the-art online banking and international debit card allows members to do business with great ease. It's like literally having a branch in your very own hands. Need a loan? Apply online from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the world, and your request will be dealt with remotely. Want to transfer between your accounts or another shareholder? No wait time for transactions to update. Voila! Who needs receipts when you can receive them via e-statements on your mobile device and save the environment? Not a communal member? You can join our family today by applying online. At Communal, we see you working hard to ensure that you save, invest, and grow. Communal, join us today. This will be the best financial decision you have ever made. My name is Hollis Mr. Killamap, and I endorse this message.
Good evening, sporting fans. Time to catch up with the latest sports news with TV6's James Saunders.
The good news is they're back home. Well, that's right. The four Trinidad and Tobago footballers stranded in Barbados, so they arrived home this evening after being given the all-clear to re-enter this country. Shaquille Henry, Garnet Diaz, Dwight Pope, and Sheila Johnson, who were part of the Paradise FC Football Club in Barbados, well, they were stuck in that country after missing the border closing deadline when their season came to an abrupt halt. Well, speaking exclusively to iSports' Andre Errol Baptiste, the quartet, who got the good news this morning, said they are happy to head back home. Some good news. All right, well, get ready for pace like fire, pace like peas, as the current West Indies bowling stock has been described as good as that of the 80s. Well, that's the opinion of the assistant coach, Roddy Eswick, who says the players are shaping up well ahead of their test series against England. Eswick also touched on the improvements made by the Windies players of late, saying that they could play a key role in this series.
As the West Indies prepare for their three-game test series against England, they have been practicing in the most safe way possible due to COVID-19. During a teleconference, West Indies assistant coach Roddy Eswick was asked several questions, one of which was, how difficult is it going to be to motivate the players and keep them fit after the pandemic led to inactivity? In his reply, Eswick said things are starting to fall into place.
I don't think motivation is a problem. It's not a problem at all. I think once we can get them up to speed, that's going to be the most difficult. Obviously, you're at some, we were able to get some work done. The weather has been kind to us here since we've arrived in England, so we've had 5 days of practice.
So what is the secret behind it?
What we've done, obviously, is improve our fitness. So now you can sustain pressure, and that's one of the key things that, if you look back in the 80s, that's one thing the fast bowlers had. That was fitness. And another thing is that they're now understanding fast bowling. They're getting to the age where Kimar and Shannon, they're leading the attack. They're very, very experienced. Jason Holder has become a lot better test match bowler in the last 2 years, and Azari Joseph is now beginning to show his potential. So we've got 4 fast bowlers where we think we can challenge any team in the world.
Of the 14 members on the main squad, 9 players are from Barbados. The question of having so many Bajans on the squad was also brought up, to which Estwick said there's a proper structure on that island starting at school level.
Well, I think that we in Barbados, we've tried to put systems in place. I believe that we've got probably the best school system, cricket-wise, in the world, where a young 16-year-old can play against a Jason Holder or Craig Braffett on a Saturday for their clubs, and that tends to improve them. They can rub shoulders with international cricket. They can play against a Kimar Roach in a club match, and that has lifted the standard in Barbados as well.
The West Indies play the opening test against the hosts from July 8th in Southampton. But prior to that, there are some practice matches to prepare them for the series. Vinod Narawani, TV6 Sport.
He's gone. All right, we head to the Nets now to find this young talent. As youthful Trinidad and Tobago born pacer Jaden Seals, he is ready to rumble after being retained by the Red Force franchise for the new Cricket West Indies Professional Cricket League season. Speaking with Vinod Narawani, Seals says it gives him the motivation to reach far in the sport.
Recently, Jaden Seals was named on the Trinbago Knight Riders squad for this year's Caribbean Premier League. And now he's been retained by the Team Red Force franchise ahead of the CWI Professional Cricket League. It's indeed a proud moment for him.
I'm very elated to be retained by Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. I'm looking forward to do my best for the team when called upon and put out my best foot for myself to open the eyes of the selectors and hopefully break into a West Indies A team later down the road.
The 18-year-old is grateful to the selectors for the opportunity. The mere fact that he's been considered has him all fired up, and he knows it's no time to rest on his laurels.
It gives me great motivation being retained by Red Force, knowing that the selectors have their eyes on me. It also shows me that I have the potential to play at the highest level, so now it's just for me to do the work and do as much as I can and remain as fit as I can and as strong as I can to be ready when called upon.
It's left to be seen if he gets to make his first-class debut next season. The West Indies under-19 pacer says, should it happen, all well and good. And should it not materialize, he is still going to give it his all until his time comes.
My goal would be to just play to my utmost best for the team and do the necessary things when called upon, whether on or off the field. If not selected to play in a game, just for me to continue training and keep getting better, fitter, and be ready for the chance anytime.
Seals impressed at this year's Under-19 World Cup in South Africa, taking 10 wickets from 6 matches for the Caribbean team. Vinod Narawani, TV6 Sport.
Well, dancehall star Elephant Man said it. Everybody's online as live sports is set to return in the region, and regional sport cable network Sportsmax, well, they are gearing up for a bumper end to the year with a few adjustments. The Jamaica-based network has already committed to covering both the CPL and SSFL, but admitted that the past 3 months were challenging. It's been roughly 3 months of joy for lovers of live sporting events. But finally, the dusty stadiums have begun to show life once more, and the rainbow of promise is visible even here in the region, with the West Indies already settled in England and CPL more than likely to rev off when the lights turn green. It's not just sport fans though who have felt the weirdness of a sportless reality, as some regional broadcast giants like Sportsmax have been left scrambling to fill the void while learning tough lessons in the process.
I think, from a broadcaster standpoint, lessons learned for us is really to be prepared that next week you may not have exactly what you have in hand this week, right? So you have to have things kind of lined up and planned for that, because we all had to go into crisis mode almost immediately. It's not like a hurricane where the hurricane is coming, you can expect it in 3 or 4 days, and that the hurricane will pass, and you have in 2 weeks' time, you have some certainty as to what's going to happen. This has been unlike anything that we've experienced in our Sportsmax lifetime.
And while the pandemic has left Sportsmax and other broadcasters shaken, with normalcy returning to arenas worldwide, this has stirred up a frenetic rush of live activities that will make on-air social distancing impossible.
The good thing about the restarts is that they're somewhat phased. So you have La Liga that starts now, Premier League that starts next week. They both should wrap up around middle of July, towards the end of July. And then we have the NBA that kicks off around July 29th. And that will go on for about 3 months into early to mid-October, when we'll have the new football season starting again. So the great thing is that these restarts have been phased a little bit so that we'll have all the content on our channels. Then, of course, all eyes lead to Trinidad likely for the CPL in August. We didn't have content for 3 months. Now it's kind of coming at you fast and furious.
A fanless reality is the new normal for the time being. And with regional staples like CPL and secondary schools football expected to be on the menu, McIntosh says his crew will adjust.
I think the fanless matches are more than likely. for all of our sports. It's interesting because on Friday we had a call with the NBA about the restructured season that will start on Sportsmax on July 29th. And then this morning I had a conversation with the high school football guys here in Jamaica. And then we're also having a conversation in Trinidad. And I think what's going to happen, James, is you're going to see a lot of innovation. You're going to see a lot of that type of almost a marketing tools used in order to make the product look a bit more attractive than just 22 men running around the field or 10 men on a basketball court.
With La Liga jumping off last weekend, Sportsmax will also restart their NBA coverage from July 29th.
Houston Rockets and JaVale McGee.
Time to take a look at what's happening in the world of sport linked to COVID-19. Today we look at cricket, football, and lawn tennis.
We start with cricket. Former Indian pacer Ajit Agarkar says should players test negative for COVID-19 before the start of any series, the use of saliva on a cricket ball should be considered. He says saliva for a bowler is just as important as a bat is to a batsman. The ICC's ban on saliva will become effective when the first test between England and the West Indies begins on July 8th. In football, Tottenham will give some of their supporters the chance to be part of a live video fan wall during Friday's home game against Manchester United. The Premier League resumes this week with all matches behind closed doors because of the coronavirus pandemic. Fans will be broadcast intermittently throughout the match so that the players will know fans are watching and cheering them on. And in tennis, the United States Tennis Association will hold the U.S. Open this year without fans amid the COVID-19 outbreak, even though some players have expressed concerns about attending the tournament due to the virus. This according to multiple reports. The men's ATP Tour and the WTA, which runs the women's circuit, are both expected to approve a plan for the August 31st to September 13th event in New York, and that a formal announcement is due soon. Vinod Narawani, TV6 Sport.
Football time now, and there was La Liga action today with two matches. Levante and Sevilla played to a 1-1 draw. Well, Sevilla, they drew first blood with Luke de Jong scoring in the 46th minute. And in the 87th, Levante equalized as Diego Carlos scored an own goal. My goodness. In the other game, Real Betis and Granada, well, they drew 2-2. Lots of joys happening. All right, let's head over to the land of Zlatan, formerly known as Sweden, for tonight's play of the day.
Looking at the action in Sweden, Malmo defeated Mjällby AIF 2-0 with Anders Christiansen notching a brace. This was a superb right footer from outside, which gave the keeper no chance. Then how about this one-time cheeky shot? It was absolutely brilliant as well. It was the insurance item that sealed the deal in this contest. Both were so good, so we leave the choice to you as it's a tie from this end for tonight's TV6 Play of the Day.
Play of the Day was brought to you by Sakura Filters. Demand the best, filter out the rest.
Well, I'm sure their president, king and overlord Zlatan will be very happy with that play.
Time for Around the Globe. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is calling for universal access to any vaccine developed. We can tell you to treat the coronavirus that has killed 432,000 people and infected 8 million others worldwide since it was first detected in China last December. Caribbean Community CARICOM countries have reported hundreds of cases of the virus and more than 100 deaths since the first case was reported in the region in March. Prime Minister Skerrit said that while he does not blame developed countries for ensuring that their citizens are given priority for any vaccine developed to treat the virus, he was nonetheless making an appeal for universal access so as to help prevent the spread of the virus in the Caribbean and other developing countries. I can tell you, he said, they are advocating for universal access to the vaccines to ensure that the institutions like the World Health Organization, WHO, the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, and the United Nations can advocate and ensure that countries in the region have immediate access to the vaccines when they are developed. The Organization of American States, OAS, on Monday called on the Guyana government to begin the process of transition, which will allow the legitimately elected government to take its place as the country awaits the official announcement of the winner of the disputed March 2nd regional and general elections. In a statement, the OAS, which was among international and regional organizations that sent observers to monitor the polls, said elections are held to determine the will of the people, and once the people's wishes are clearly stated, they must be upheld, not just in instances where they favor the incumbent. Meanwhile, the CARICOM Observer team, who observed the recount of the general and regional elections in Guyana, submitted a report to Secretary General of the Caribbean Community CARICOM, Ambassador Owen LaRoque, on Monday. The team was led by Cynthia Barrow-Giles, senior lecturer in the Department of Government at the University of the West Indies. Ambassador LaRoque thanked the team for the commitment, professionalism and integrity for having executed an arduous task over the past 6 weeks. Chair of CARICOM, Barbados' Prime Minister Mia, particularly for being away from their families during the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, North Korea has blown up a joint liaison office with the South near the North's border town of Kaesong. The move comes just hours after the North renewed threats of military action at the Korean border. The site was opened in 2018 to help the Koreas, officially in a state of war, to communicate. It had been empty since January due to COVID-19 restrictions. In a statement, South Korea warned it would respond strongly if the North continues to worsen the situation. The destruction of the office, it said, abandons the hopes of everyone who wanted the development of inter-Korean relations and a peace settlement in the Korean peninsula. And a man has been shot and wounded in the United States, the state of New Mexico, after violence erupted over a statue of a 16th century Spanish colonist. It happened when a second man opened fire after being turned upon by protesters outside Albuquerque Museum, according to local reports. The protesters had been confronted by a group of armed men as they tried to pull the statue down. It comes amid heightened sensitivities over monuments linked to colonialism. Several have been pulled down in America and other countries in the wake of the death of African-American George Floyd in police custody last month. That is Around the Globe. Stay with us for a reminder of the headlines after this. A reminder of the headlines. 2 charged with 2012 murder of Emilio Nelson appear in court today. Met Services to use new easy color codes in dissemination of information on weather systems. New York City public advocate speaks to the Grenada Broadcasting Network on why Black Lives Matter. COVID-19 emergency regulations extended for another week. In the sports news, West Indies assistant coach says team members are showing signs they are developing a pace attack. And in Around the Globe, Dominica's Prime Minister wants universal access to COVID-19 vaccine. That completes the news. I'm Kenroy. Thanks for tuning in to the broadcast. We'll see you next time. Good night.